Hey guys, this video is for our kindergarten and first grade team. Sorry, I'm in the car. I gotta get these done though, babe. And this is for December week 1. How are we already in December? I'm not sure. But this month, our life app is Joy, finding a way to be happy even when things don't go your way. And our memory verse for this month is Philippians 4:4. Always be joyful because you belong to because you belong to the Lord. I will say it again, be joyful. So, sorry if this is bumpy, guys. I've not gotten everything done that I need to this week. Alright, so we are hearing about the story of Jesus being born this month. But what's really cool is because we've been in the Old Testament, we are starting in the Old Testament. And this week's lesson is called A Thrill of Hope. And it's about when Jesus is promised from the book of Isaiah and the book of Micah. So it's really cool because we get to go back and hear about the predictions of Jesus being born in the Old Testament. And our bottom line is, you can have joy because God keeps his promises. So we'd love for you to join us in the garage room at 8:20 and 10:20 for prayer and coffee and donuts. Sorry, I'm trying to not make this as bumpy as possible. And then we'd love for you to be in your small groups ready to go by 8:30 and 10:30. Then when kids start to roll in at 8:40 and 10:40, you're going to have these like vases with little pom-pom balls in them. And you'll have 2 different vases for your small group. And there's the same amount of pom-pom balls in the 2 vases. But because the vases are different sizes, it doesn't look like there's the same amount. So first, make it personal. Welcome kids to your group by their name. Help any first-time guests to feel welcome. And then you're going to set out the 2 jars and ask kids how many items they think are in each jar. And you're going to write down their guesses on your whiteboard. And then you're going to count the items, or let your kids count the items that are in there. And you're going to point out that it was kind of unexpected that there were the same amount in each jar. It didn't look like they were going to be the same. Then when service starts at 9 and 11, you've got, it says divide your kids into 5 groups. So you might just have like 2 kids in each group. And you're going to give each group a box. And actually, I'm just kidding. We have already wrapped these boxes for you. So you can actually just let them play when they first come in. And that pom-pom ball activity you can do during this interactivity time because we already wrapped these boxes for you. Okay? So you're just going to kind of tell your kids after they do the pom-pom ball activity, well, let's go see what we're going to hear about in large group today. So in large group, we do have a live storyteller and host tomorrow telling you the story of when Jesus was promised and how God kept that promise. When you get back from large group, you're going to do an activity called I Promise You. So you're going to have these boxes that are wrapped. There's 5 things in them. And they're going to be labeled for you. So first you're going to set out the box that has the pencil in it. And you're going to say, I promise you the item in this box would help you at school or at small group. What is it? And then let kids guess the items. And then you're going to just pick 2 kids to work together to open the box and pull out the item. And then you're going to quickly debrief whether or not the kids guessed correctly and how your promise was true. And then you're going to repeat the process for the other boxes. So you've got a box that has shoes in it. It's really just a picture of shoes. It says, I promise that everyone here has at least 2 of these, a cup, a Christmas ornament, and a Bible. So all of those 5 things are wrapped for you, and the kids are going to unwrap them. And then you're going to say, so I made a lot of promises to you guys in this activity, and all of them were true, even though they might not have been what you expected. Well, when Jesus came to earth, he wasn't what the people were expecting. They knew that They knew that God had promised to send a Savior, but they didn't know exactly what it would look like. And even though Jesus wasn't necessarily what they expected, God came through on his promise in the best way ever. And you can have joy because God keeps his promises. Then for the memory verse activity, you're going to help the kids look up their new memory verse using their Bibles. And then you're going to say the verse together several times, and then you're going to assign 1 word of the first sentence to each kid. So some kids may have the same word, and if you have fewer kids than words, then you're going to just give kids 2 words in order. And then you're going to tell kids to say the sentence in order with each kid saying their word or words. And then you're just going to repeat it multiple times. So each time, instruct the kids to do a movement that's a little more joyful or exaggerated than the last. So at first they're just standing. Then the second time you say it, they'll jump a little. Then they'll jump a little more, maybe with their hand raised, until they're like jumping up and down and they're going just crazy saying the verse the very last time. So then you'll close it down by saying, so guys, why should we always be joyful? Because we belong to God, and that's so awesome. And you know what else is awesome? You can have joy because God keeps his promises. He always keeps his promises, and he might not do it in the way we expect or the way we want him to, but he always keeps his promises, and he does it in a way that he knows is absolutely best for us. So then if you can, make it personal. Tell kids about a time when God answered a prayer in your life, and maybe it wasn't the way you expected. Then you're just going to close down in prayer. You don't need anything. You're just going to let kids quickly go around and say one or two things that bring them joy at Christmas time. And then tell kids that you're going to pray out loud. And every time you raise and shake your hand, like a jazz hand, like woo, they should say joy. So make sure you do a jazz hand before saying the word joy each time in the prayer below. So, dear God, we are so filled with joy. And then you'll just keep reading the prayer. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for serving. I'm really looking forward to December at Oakbridge Kids. It's going to be a great month, going to be a packed month, and I hope to see you guys all at Volunteer Appreciation this coming Friday. It's going to be super duper fun. Hope to see you guys there. Thank you for serving. I'll see you tomorrow.